Today we're going to be talking about Instagram growth and answering a very important question. How do you build an engaged community on Instagram? I love this question because if you're asking how do I build an engaged community rather than how do I get more followers, you are already on the right track. So before I share some tips on how to build a community, I want to talk a little bit about why it's so important to shift the way we look at our Instagram following. If you look at your following count as your fan base or just a set of numbers that measure how popular you are, then not only are you always going to be focused on your next milestone, but it also just sort of sounds like you are above them. Like you're the center of attention and nothing else really matters. It's a really one-sided relationship. If that's the kind of dynamic you have with your followers, it's actually a lot harder to gain their trust. And that's not really a good thing if you're looking to be a paid influencer. A community, on the other hand, is not all about you. A community supports each other, uplifts each other. There's rapport, there's give and take. That trust runs a lot deeper, which will better set you up for success in the long run. And you'll also find that if your followers are made up more of a community than a fan base, that you don't need as many of them to be able to make a living. Personally, I made my first $70,000 with fewer than 10,000 followers. And when I finally quit my day job, I think I had about 12,000 followers. So let's get into the tips. If you're consistently doing these next 5 things, you will be building a community in no time. Number 1, and please don't roll your eyes at me, you need to be authentically you. I know that authenticity is a buzzword that is used and overused on social media and honestly the internet as a whole. But I have found myself asking, what does that even mean? And I figured out that for me, that just means not being afraid to show up as myself and not trying to fit into somebody else's mold of what an influencer looks like. I'm not afraid to be silly, to be vulnerable, to share my hot takes. Another element of authenticity that we don't talk a lot about is the things that you don't do, the things that you say no to. So that might mean not hopping on a trend just because it's trending, or maybe it's saying no to brand partnerships that don't feel true to you or your audience. Number 2, boost others without expecting anything in return. And I know you might be thinking, okay, I'm watching this video because I want to grow my audience or build a community. So obviously I want something. But I want you to just stop and think for a second about how you could uplift other people in a way that makes sense for your platform. If you're a fashion creator, maybe that means regularly shouting out your favorite looks on your stories. Maybe you dedicate a post to shouting out small businesses in your niche. Just think about what you can do that gives more that you gain in return. Some of the things I've done over the years have been compiling lists of different Black-owned Etsy shops, sharing Canadian natural hair care brands, things that are not only helpful resources for my community, but also shine a light on others. A cool thing I have found about creating these lists is that those who are featured are likely to promote the list themselves and connect with each other, which all just helps deepen the sense of community around your content. Tip number 3, actively engage with others. Like, share, comment, all of the things that you are wanting from your audience, you should be doing for others. Make sure you pay engagement back and pay it forward. And you shouldn't just be engaging with other creators. You should be engaging with your followers, with brands, especially small businesses. People are just more likely to engage with you and support you when you're doing the same for them. Again, I do want to stress that you should be doing all of this without expecting anything in return. Tip number 4 is ask questions. Get people talking. You can do this in your Instagram stories as well as your captions. And now I think you can do it in your Instagram Reels too. Although I've never seen a poll feature in a Reel on my feed. But the key here is to actually respond. If you ask a question and your audience takes the time out of their day to engage with that question, to have a conversation, it's on you to keep that conversation going. Remember, the people commenting on your content or sending you DMs are actual people. They're not just numbers. If they feel unheard, why would they want to answer you the next time around? Okay, last but not least is probably my favorite tip, but it's one that very few people are leveraging. Build a community off Instagram, separate from that app. Creating a community or space off of the platform takes a lot of work, which is why a lot of people don't really do it. But consider making a Facebook group, a Tailwind community, a Discord, a WhatsApp group. Create a space where like-minded or like-niched people can get together and connect with each other. Many years back now, I started a Facebook group for Black bloggers to come together and support one another. And from that group, a Pinterest group board also formed, as well as a Tailwind community. And though I have since neglected it a bit, at its prime, it was so valuable to have the community connected across all of these different platforms. And when they saw each other's content and my content show up on their feed, they just felt more inclined to show support. So take some time to think about what you want your community to look like and see if you can assemble one on one of the many platforms at your disposal around the internet. When it comes to the group I've created, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately because I do want to try to revive it, but I'm thinking of maybe rebranding it for like Black creators instead of Black bloggers, or maybe starting a new one for like-minded creators of all races and backgrounds. Let me know below if that's something you would like to join. And you know what, while you're there, let me know what platform you prefer. Is Facebook just dead for groups? Should I be looking at a Discord? Something else? I don't know. Lots of thinking to do. Honestly, when it comes to building an engaged community on Instagram, it really just comes down to selflessness. Of course, you want to grow your audience and hit all of these different goals, but Instagram is a social media platform. You need to connect with others in order to be successful on it. I hope these tips have set you on the right path, and if you want to be a part of my community, do consider subscribing for more content creating tips and hit the like button while you're at it. It'll help tell YouTube that this was a useful video and will help connect me with more like-minded creators. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.